recorded. Okay, so today is all about how to leverage CMA Toolkit. So right here is our CMA Toolkit widget. Also, I want to let you know that you can move around all these little widget boxes wherever you want on 21 Online to make sure that whatever you're utilizing the most is right up on top for you. So one of the things I want to talk about is learning more about CMA Toolkit. So hopefully you've been in there, you've been using it, you've been playing with it, and that's outstanding. But let's look about some other features as well. One is the demo and samples. If you want to get an idea of what CMA Toolkit's about, click right there. You're going to find some downloadables. You can see listing presentations, pre-listing presentations, CMA only, the tablet version, the buyer-seller version. All this information is here for you, so you can be able to go ahead and click on it and move forward easily. Also, one of the things that I like is schedule a walkthrough. Everybody, in my opinion, learns at different rates and different levels and has different levels of comfortness when it comes to technology. Scheduling a walkthrough is absolutely one of the best things that we set up with CMA Toolkit. All you have to do is put your contact information in. Go ahead and put what date you prefer and your alternate date, what time, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening. And then also, if you do me a favor, put the MLS that you participate with in the comment box, and that will let with your MLS integration. And then just send it out. Within about 24 hours, you'll get an email back, and they'll already have a link set up for you, and they'll do a one-on-one walkthrough, which is awesome. Also, you can register for some of the webinars that they teach as well. Not only can you get your one-on-one, not only can you watch videos, not only can you look at examples. Actually, when we get into CMA Toolkit, I'll show you where there is a how-to book and how-to guide. We also, every other Monday, teach a live class on C21 University on CMA Toolkit, how to set it up, how to get started. So let's go ahead and access CMA Toolkit. Okay, I have some notices. Yay, and our presentation has been updated with the new branding. I am so excited. Awesome. So one of the things we want to talk about just as we start off are preferences. So let's go in here underneath the preferences. And this is where you can actually go ahead and do a walk-up. Here is your startup guide. So if you want to go ahead and print down the PDF on how to set up CMA Toolkit, you're an individual learner, there it is. Edit your profile. So if you want to change your information, like I am no longer the Director of Franchise Transition, I am a senior trainer. So we can go ahead and update that information. I also have my ABR. We want to make sure that everything's up to date and current. And then just go ahead and click Save. The next thing you have is your agent photo. You can go ahead and update your photo and change it out. It doesn't have to be the photo that you have in Dash. One of the other things is once you actually set up and choose what pages you want in your CMA presentation, you can actually come in here and change the document order. So maybe you want to put your CMA all the way in the back. You want to put some other information in the middle, some information in the front. My suggestion is go ahead, choose the pages that you want, and then go ahead and rearrange the order. So it's perfectly digestible for you. Also the same thing, not only with the printed and email in the PDF version, but also with the tablet version, you can go ahead and change that order as well. Your resume, you really should take time and fill it out and put in your past careers. What did you do? For example, I was a school teacher. So guess what? If I'm going on a listing presentation and I share my school teacher history, well, maybe their daughter, maybe their son, or maybe they actually at one point taught school or wanted to teach school. So what do I have? An automatic connection with them. So here's some information I can put in. Also some affiliations, my education, community service. What do I do? Well, you know what? With Century 21, we participate with Easter Seals. I also help the American Red Cross, Toys for Tots. So putting those things in, again, you never know. All your presentation is an opportunity to build relationships. And that's exactly what we want to be able to do. The next thing we want to look at are your edit your references. And those are your professional references. Who is a good pre-inspector? Who's a good pressure washer, painter, carpet cleaner, whatever, title company, attorney, we can go ahead and put those in as well. Also, we can go ahead and link our web reviews. That's linking our web reviews with Real Satisfied and Zillow, and also Reach 150, Testimonial Tree, and Rated Agent. So we can actually link all those testimonials right in to your presentation. So as consumers are out there shouting about how amazing you are, guess what? It automatically is going to filter over to your presentation. The next thing we want to do is here we can actually access any saved presentations that we've done in the past, any property flyers we've done in the past as well. Also any listing photos, sent presentations, and then program settings. One of the things that I like that is available in program settings is you can actually set the boundaries for your price range. And also with your CMA, do you want to use all the properties or just sold properties? You know, really, because it does the math for you in a lot of ways. So here we can actually go ahead and calculate it and be able to pull some information up. Okay, well, let's start getting started about really how to leverage CMA Toolkit. One thing, if you see up here in the top right-hand corner, you see this little blue live chat with a little green light. Normally through regular business hours, Monday through Friday, you're going to know that you have a live chat. Also up in the top right-hand corner, you also have the customer service number and the help tab. And in the help tab, you can really find, again, the startup guide, some online help, schedule that personal walkthrough, or go ahead and give them a call. So let's talk about the presentations. And why should you use the CMA presentation that we offer versus the presentations that, or the CMA presentation you may have in your MLS? Well, let me tell you a quick story. Back in my active listing days, believe it or not, I went to this really nice woman's house, and I'll never forget. Her name was Peggy Merritt. And I went to talk to her about listing her house. Well, guess what? I got done with my presentation, and that was when the theory was you wanted to be last instead of first. So I was last. She interviewed 3. And at the end of my presentation, she asked me, she said that she was surprised that we were all the same. Now, I know my personality is very unique, and also my brand and my company. So I asked her, I said, well, Miss Peggy, why do you say that we're all the same? And she went to her kitchen cabinet and she pulled out the presentations, and we were all using the CMA presentation that was available in our MLS. The same word for word cover letter. The only thing that changed was our contact information and the logo and the comps that we used. It was all about why use an agent. It wasn't specifically about why use a Century 21 agent or why use the Century 21 brand. Right then, the day after that, I went back to my broker and said, we need something better. And we've been using CMA Toolkit ever since. So here we see that we made some transitions within CMA Toolkit. We went ahead and we took out the Fine Homes and Estates presentation. The Fine Homes and Estates presentation is getting updated because guess what? We have a new Fine Homes and Estates logo. So here we're going to see our current listing presentation, our pre-listing presentation, our CMA only presentation, our buyer presentation, and our buyer tour. And one of the things I want to talk about is the importance of having a pre-listing presentation. The pre-listing presentation is easy and simple. It's got great pages, great content, and it really gives you that availability to really shine. You know, when you go ahead and you get your first phone call on being able to get that appointment to go out and meet with that seller, you may be talking to them on Tuesday, but not actually meeting them until maybe Saturday or Sunday, or possibly Friday. So how can we keep them engaged with you throughout that process? One of the ways is the pre-listing presentation. The pre-listing presentation should be an easy, digestible amount of content, not all 83 pages, but it really wants to highlight you and the brand and hopefully engage them to really make sure that in case somebody comes out of the woods, they're still going to want to meet with you because they want to learn more about you. So let's walk through that pre-listing presentation piece first. And also, just to let you know, the pre-listing presentation does not incorporate your comps. It's all about you, about your office, and about your brand. So how do we pick out which pages we want when there's 83 pages of content? Well, pick out the pages that are important to you. Pick out the pages that you think that should resonate. And again, what we want to make sure is that it's digestible content. You don't want to send them all 83 pages and have them mistakenly go print it out, because by the time they get past page 20, they're going to be a little flustered with you. So really make sure and keep their end user experience in mind. So one of the things we can do is all you have to do is click on the page and you'll be able to see the page and preview it. Find out what's good for you, what do you like, and we can go ahead. So for example, let me just get out of here one more time. So I'm going to close preview. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go down to the bottom and I'm going to unselect all the pages. So I'm going to clear all. So nothing has a check mark. Now I'm going to come back in. Here's my cover page. Oops, let me go back. Previous page. Oops. Okay. So how do I want my cover page? Do I want it just with the Century 21 logo? Do I have the information on their property? Well, you know what? I really like this page. Considering that it's a pre-listing proposal, I haven't been out to the property. I want to send it out as soon as I possibly can. So you know what? This page works for me. So I can go ahead and click select. Well, now here's some other choices for your cover page. Here's a picture of the property, a picture of the property in your photo. So we can go through these options. There's about 5 different options. And again, the real estate proposal with your photo. Well, you know what? I think I like that one more. So let me go back and then let me go back and unselect that one. So now we have our cover page, and then here's our cover letter. I think that cover letter should always be in there, and we'll talk about that. Here's the seller's questionnaire. Why are they selling? What have they thought about? You know what? That's a great piece for them to go ahead and fill out. Kind of get them thinking. So let's go ahead and select that, and then let's go to the next page. Key factors in the market. What do we think that's important? Competition, timing, condition, terms? Well, you know what? Kind of like that one too. The purpose of this presentation? Well, you know what? I like that page in the listing presentation. So we're going to skip that one. Working together, that's always a positive one. So you can see how you go through this process. Century 21 as a glance, the home protection program, marketing, and all you have to do is go through the process and choose what pages are relevant and what pages are important to you. And remember, what you want to do is keep in mind that it needs to be digestible. So how big and how small is digestible? Well, you know what? I think about 21 pages. Where does that come from? But anyway, go through it. Go ahead and click on it. There are some pages that I really do suggest. Here's one on home staging that I think is an important one. There's another one, which is your checklist. Here's your moving checklist and moving checklist continue. Your references, that's always a good one. The seller service pledge. Pricing your home to sell, again, getting them thinking about that price. And one of the things that I suggest you go ahead and add is a copy of your listing agreement, your exclusive right to sale agreement. It really is a great piece to be able to go ahead and add. And also there's a pre-listing, there's a checklist in here somewhere. I'm just not being able to see it real quick. But how do we go ahead and add our exclusive right to sale agreement? Well, you know what? It's really easy. All we have to do is go back to home. Then go ahead into those preferences. And it's add or change. We want to add pages. So we want to add and change personal pages. So all we have to do is click on there and then save your exclusive right to sale agreement in a PDF form. All we're going to do is choose which presentations we want it available in, and that would be our pre-listing presentation. And then go ahead, choose the file and upload. So once we choose and upload, it's going to go ahead and add that to our choice. So one of the reasons why I think putting out your pre-listing your exclusive right to sale agreement is important. Also, the checklist piece is important as well, plus the seller survey. When we go ahead and email it out, for example, I would call Jeff and say, hey, Mr. Roberts, this is Catherine with Century 21. One thing, I want to confirm that we're still set for our appointment on Saturday. And by the way, I emailed you a pre-listing information packet earlier today. And I know that there's going to have a lot of information in there you may or may not be interested in, but I really want you to focus in on 2 key documents. One is the pre-listing checklist. everything that you're going to need, whether you decide to list your property with me or another agent. It's really going to make that listing process a lot smoother. And it's just about 6 or 8 different things, such as your mortgage lender, if you have a mortgage, your current title policy, survey, and also a list and invoices for any major improvements you may have done. Anyway, take a look at the pre-listing checklist. It's really going to make our job or your job a lot easier. The next thing is the exclusive right to sale agreement. Here in our state, we have a legal form that we use for the National Association of Realtors and Florida Association of Realtors, and that is our exclusive right to sale agreement. I wanted to give you time to be able to read it. This is the agreement that any agent within our marketplace will be using if you decide to list with somebody other than me. But I really wanted to give you a chance to sit down, read it, digest it. If you have any questions between now and Saturday, give me a call. Or, you know what, you can just hold them off and we'll talk about them in person. Can't wait to see you. And just to confirm, we're still set for Saturday at 2 o'clock, correct? I know, a lot of verbiage, but you get the idea. Now he's got a reason to look at it. Not just when he goes in there and gets it, he goes, ugh, you know, oh, the agent's already sending me stuff, how amazing they are. No, it's sending them things that they really need to look at. And I like throwing in the factor whether they decide to list with me or somebody else, because again, it's not specific to me nor specific to Century 21. So, okay, after we go ahead and choose our pages, all we have to do is click next. Then we're going to go ahead and put in our prospects information. And one of the things that I really like with your prospect information, if you've already had them in your system, you can just use last prospect, it will fill in, but you need their first name, last name, and also their salutation, because your letter is going to actually be then customized. So here the letter says, Dear Catherine, and it has my address in it as well. One of the things I want to talk about the letter is, you know what, this one is professionally written. It's got proper grammar, proper spelling, but do me a favor, rewrite it, make it a reflection of your own personality. Maybe invite them to visit your website, maybe to download your mobile app, or to look at you on social media, whatever it may be. Maybe go ahead and put some information in there, or also reflect your personality, depending where you are geographically. You know what, I'm here in the South. A little Southern charm goes a long way. But after you go ahead and change it, modify it, do me a favor, have somebody else read it, have somebody else proof it, run spell check on it, but just click down here where it says save as default. So then the next time you come in, the meat of your letter will already be set and you won't have to worry about customizing it all over again. The next is, do we want to go ahead and pull in their subject property from the MLS? Yes or no? So I'm just going to go ahead. Their property was pre-listed, so I can go ahead and pull it in. And then here's our marketing plan. Again, this is one of those pages that you can go ahead and customize and really load it up to the max. Do me a favor though. It says what we're going to do during the first week, what we're going to do during the second week, what we're going to do the third week, and ongoing. Make it, what are we going to do within the first 96 hours, within the first 72 hours? What are we going to do in the second week? What are we going to do, and so on. But let them know really that it's not going to take us a week to do some of those things, and load it up with everything. Include a lot of the services that Century 21 provides, such as their individual property website, their unique property website, their branded video, their non-branded video. Their branded video will be on YouTube. Their non-branded video will be incorporated in their listing throughout our 200 different syndications. Also, talk about put the golden ruler in there. Put everything that we do, social media sharing, being able to highlight it, making sure that it's not just on century21.com, but it's on Century 21 Espanol, Century 21 Global. And if it's commercial based and it's an investment property, let's say we're putting it there as well. Everything that we do, and really load it up, because you never know what that marketing piece is going to be key. For example, I've purchased my 3 houses that I've owned in my lifetime, all from open houses. I know I'm the oddity, I'm the impulse buy, but you know what I did? So when I recently just listed and sold my home, guess what was important to me? Doing open houses. Guess what my agent said didn't work? Open houses. So I had to convince her that I wanted her to do an open house. Well, you know what? Now she does them and she's very successful at attracting buyers with them. But so load it up. This is something that you can review with them. Take out things they may not like and add additional things that they do like. And again, this is one of those pages that once you get it all loaded up, save it as default. And then the next time you come in, it's going to be set and ready to go. Well, believe it or not, that's our pre-listing presentation. It's already completed. So let's go ahead and do an email presentation. And with that email presentation, one of the things before we send it out, let's go ahead and I'll email it to myself so we can see what it looks like. And it also goes ahead and composes our email that's actually going out to them. So again, we can change this body. I can go ahead, remember there's a lot of information in here, about 21 pages, but do me a favor, make sure that you look at the pre-listing checklist and also that exclusive right to sale agreement. And it's going to go ahead and mail merge in it as well. Again, once you get it, save it as default and it's set up exactly the way that you want it. You have to preview it to make sure that what you're sending is accurate and what you like. Once you preview it, send email, and you are good to go. Well, you know what the amazing thing is? The steps for this process are pretty much the same steps that we're going to follow in our listing presentation. So while this is sending, let's go back to our home. Let's go back to presentations. There's two more presentations I really want to talk about. And one is the buyer tour presentation. We also have our buyer presentation, and just as important as having a listing presentation, we should have a buyer presentation. And it's, again, the exact same steps. Make sure that it's digestible, something that shows value, and that is something that the consumer could possibly find interest with. Now, remember, while you're interviewing your client, if you find that they're really interested a little bit more in statistics or marketing, you can always go back in and choose more pages or possibly take out some pages. It all depends on what you've learned through that client interview. But let's talk about the buyer tour. One of the things about the buyer tour is I think most of us, when we go out to show property, we're very guilty of actually just going in the MLS, printing out the client detail report and stapling those together or putting those in a folder and being able to give those to the client. And those are the properties we're going to see. Well, this buyer tour takes that experience to the next level. So again, we're going to go ahead and choose our buyer tour. Let me clear all the pages. And I'm going to go ahead and do a buyer tour with my photo on it. Desired home profile, what they've told me that they look for. And then I have a choice. So here I can do the properties that we're going to see either with a map and an aerial, or with multiple photos. I'm going to go ahead and do multiple photos. We're also going to do a map, how they can actually see from property to property, get driving directions, and go ahead and give them some comparison photos. So it's really not a lot of heavy, because the next thing that gets in here is actually all your comps. So again, we're going to go ahead and pull in our last prospect. And we're going to go into our MLS. Now you're going to choose your MLS from the drop-down box. But for the purpose of today, but I want to tell you, when you do that integration with your MLS, print out your download guide. And that's going to tell you step by step of what you need to be able to do to be able to get the information that you need. But for today's process, we're a little easier. So now here's the properties that we currently have pulled in from our MLS. So let's go ahead, and I am a true believer, never show them way too many houses. So we're going to look at 5 houses. In my opinion, it has to be digestible. You show them way too many houses, I think sometimes it just gets confusing. So we're going to go ahead and say next. And now we can go ahead and move these houses around. Which one do we want to show them first? Well, you know what? I want to show them this one first. So let's go ahead and move that one. Then we're going to show them this one. Then we're going to show them this one. So now I have them in the order that I want. Now I can just go ahead and say next. And now I can put in their desired home profile. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what square footage, what do they want? Do they want a pool, basement, all those different kind of. And this is an optional page. Then I can go ahead and say next. And believe it or not, my buyer tour is ready. So let's go ahead and create the presentation and take a look at it. Now remember, when normally you go out and you're sharing your property tour with your client, what do we have? We have a list of just, stapled together, some MLS printouts in color, maybe not in color. Well, now here's something that actually has my name on it. This is a property tour that's prepared for me, by you. It makes me feel special. Here's my home finder profile. This is everything that I, the buyer, was looking for in a home. And then here's our homes. Now, not only do we have the main photos, some characteristics, but we also have the map. And now I have a place where I can actually take notes. What did I like? What didn't I like about the property? And then here's some additional photos for that property. So now I can go to the next one, and again, additional photos. The next one, again, additional photos. So it's really easy for me to keep an eye on and not confuse my properties as I'm going ahead. Because what happens with our sellers when we start showing them too many properties, they get them confused. Which one had the built-in bookcase? Which one had the stairway? Which one had this? So now they can actually remember and have some of those inside photos. So be honest with me. Which one looks more professional? I think this one does in a heartbeat. And then here's the buyer tour map. So now they know the adjacent, which properties. I would probably go in and change my order and put that up in the front. And then here's that property comparison. The first house we showed them was a 5-bedroom. The next one was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. This one's a 4-bedroom, 2 full bath, 2 half baths. So now they can actually see those comparison and really be able to look at them side by side. What a great presentation, right? I think so. But anyway, it's a great thing. Again, all the CMA Toolkit's there for is to make you look smarter, bolder, faster. Smarter, we're working smarter instead of harder. We set it up once with all the pages we want, and we can go in there, grab and go real fast. And we want to make you bolder than your competition. I think something that has somebody's name in it, that's printed out, that's perfectly designed for them and personalized, is going to show you a lot more in a professional manner than somebody else who's just stapling pieces of paper together. Well, let's go into the very last one we're going to talk about. And the last one we're going to talk about today is that listing presentation. I wasn't thinking and I clicked on save, so it's just going to take us a second. And then we're going to end with property flyers. You may or may not know that CMA Toolkit offers you over 100 different property flyer templates. Okay, so let's go back into presentation. Now, some of these steps are repetitive, which I absolutely love. So here's our listing presentation. Again, I can go in, I can clear all, go into preview and choose the pages that I want. Well, for my listing presentation, I want the subject property photo and my photo. I want the cover letter. Do I want to add in pages for expired, for sale by owners, or key market factors? I like the purpose of the presentation and again, why we're working together. I always like the home warranty. My marketing plan worksheet, home staging again, keeping you informed, that talks about golden ruler. Attracting buyers, it's not about getting your house sold, it's not about just getting it listed, it's about getting it sold. Unique property website. Our web presence. I love talking about lead router because it's awesome. Factors that influence pricing your home to sell. Subject property with photo. And then it's going to put my CMA. My maps of comparables. Single property with maps. My graph with stats, my property graph, recommended price ranges, price strategy, the next steps, what to have ready when you list. That is the checklist, the seller service pledge, the staging checklist I'm going to put back in there, the moving checklist, again, I'm going to put back in there, references, I'm going to put in my real satisfied, my commitment, and my thank you, and I am done. So maybe a little robust. I'd probably still go down there and tweak it down a little bit. Remember, just because you have a page doesn't mean you have to review it. You just want to make sure that it's there for your arsenal. Again, we're going to put in our client's information. We've already set our welcome letter. It's the same welcome letter that's in all the presentations. So we set that. That's good to go. Again, we're going to come in to our MLS. We're going to choose our comps. And now for our CMA part. I always think that it's important to put in some solds, so I'm going to go ahead and grab 5 solds. I'm going to go ahead and grab the active properties that are completely a comparison to their property. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab some expireds. And for some reason in this system, they don't actually show what's pending. Maybe C is pending. So let's go ahead and grab. So under a contract. Okay, a lot of information's in there. No big deal. Now we're going to put in the information for the subject property. Oh, but I'm just going to go ahead and grab a photo real quick. Bear with me. I know I have photos in here of houses somewhere. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. There we go. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and say next. Here's my price range. Remember, in my preferences, I can actually adjust how tight or how far I want that price range. To me, it's a little further than I'd want, so I can always just come right in here and adjust it on the fly. And then here's my pricing strategy. Again, this can go ahead and be customized and then set it as default. So let me put in my price ranges. Here's my marketing. Again, the same marketing plan that I had in my pre-listing presentation. And guess what? My presentation is done and complete. So let's go ahead and take a look at it as well. So what are some of the key things I want to talk to you about your listing presentation, your pre-listing presentation, and your buyer tour? Again, it's all about standing out. It's all about being that purple cow, something that people are going to remember. So pre-listing presentation, immediately. You can either deliver it in hand by printing it out, or you can email it to them. It's completely your preference. Or you want, ask your seller. I have some information I want to share with you. Would you like me to print it out and drop it by? Or would it be easier if I emailed it? Sometimes, depending on their technology, they may not have access to email. Same thing, listing presentation. I always think that we should have it printed out and have it there with us, bring them a copy, have you have a copy, and be able to go over it and review it with them. And that buyer tour, I think that buyer tour is a no-brainer. So this is still loading up for a second. So here's our purpose of the presentation page. I want it to get the comps. So while it's loading up, let's go back to and talk about property flyers. So here we can go ahead and click on property flyers, and we have over 100 different types of property flyers that you can choose from. We have ones with the Century 21 brand. We have ones without the Century 21. Well, they all have the Century 21 brand. We have some with trees, lakes, ponds. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one, because right now I'm in love with waterfront property. So we're going to go ahead and create a flyer. We're going to go ahead and go in the MLS, pull out the MLS listing that we want. And I'm just going to go ahead and choose that listing that I want to make a flyer on. Say next. It's going to go ahead and take all the content from the MLS and put it in my flyer. So here's the price. Here's the address, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms. Here's my contact information. And then here's my photos. Now watch this. I can drop and drag. So this one has a main photo and only one photo that I chose. So I really can look at it and come in here and say, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put the front of the property. Now that I have my flyer built, some of the cool things that I can do. One, I can go ahead and just create my flyer, print it out in PDF. I can email it to my seller and ask them to go ahead and proof it, make sure they're happy with it. I can go ahead also, once everybody's happy with it, post it on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. It's that easy. So let's go ahead and create it. And view my flyer. So now here's my property flyer, all ready to go. My contact information, the property, everything is set. How awesome is that? So let's go back into, we want to get that presentation out that we downloaded. Okay, so here's our property presentation and our proposal for our property. Again, here's our information. Here's all those value pieces I chose. Our website presence, attracting buyers. How to sell your home, well, the next steps. Uh-oh, my comps are missing. Oh, I made a faux pas. I forgot to check on the page to add my comps. Oops. But anyway, it pulls in your comps. Here's a graph and here's some information, but nope, apparently I forgot to pull in my comps. So shame on me. So now I know what page I have to go back and select, but you guys get the idea. I just feel bad. But anyway, I apologize for that. It was my mistake. But I love the fact that CMA Toolkit will go ahead, do your math, shine all your comps and all your information to really shine successfully. Well, let's stop sharing for a second and see if anybody has any questions. Any questions about CMA Toolkit? Well, did you learn something today? Well, I hope you did. Anyway, my name is Catherine Carr, and thanks for being with me today. I do have, if you don't mind, here in the chat box, I put a link, and it's called C21 Evals. If you wouldn't mind, if you can go ahead and click on C21 Evals, it's simple 5 questions about the class. Did you learn something? Was it a value of your time? And what was the takeaway? If you can go ahead and do that, I would be extremely grateful. Also, if you have any questions about CMA Toolkit, go ahead and email me. It's Catherine@c21.com. And I'll be more than happy to address any questions that you may have on a one-on-one basis. Thank you so much today. And again, if you have any questions, please just put them in the chat. And as soon as you're done completing the survey, have a great and amazing weekend. Thank you, everybody.